Alternate Worlds here with What If Naruto Had the Solo Leveling System Part 1. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this what if scenario. And please make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on another new video or another new upload. And I will be posting another series that I do have in mind, but that will have to wait until Part 2 of this series comes out. But with all that being said, let's finally begin with this what if scenario. So Naruto in this timeline would gain the solo leveling system differently. Well, not differently because he never got it before, but he will gain it through a near-death experience. As on Naruto's 10th birthday, he would basically be beat half to death, as Naruto would be panting heavily as he was just beaten so bad by villagers that he didn't even know these people. These people just came into his apartment and beat him so bad. His bones were broken, ribs were shattered, as he was left unrecognizable. As the ninjas that were supposed to be watching Naruto would decide to let him die, thinking that, oh, well, he's a demon after all. He shouldn't even get the chance to live. As they basically let him get beat. As Naruto was on his way half to death, the nine tails that Naruto has, but he isn't aware of, does not help him, does not provide some sort of healing to at least minimize the damage that he's taken. Doesn't do that whatsoever, as Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, would decide that it's way better for him to die than to be inside a brat and be in jail for the rest of his life. So he decides that dying and coming back later would be a better option than staying with Naruto, as he lets him die. But as this happens, a screen would appear in front of Naruto, as Naruto would be quite shocked, thinking, what is this? Did someone turn on the TV or something? But as he was thinking about this, the system would basically start speaking to him, or basically have letters or words right in front of it. So the system would start speaking to him, as the system starts saying, I will let you live, if you, on one condition though. You will become my player and inherit strength beyond human comprehension. As Naruto would read this, he would think, strength and being alive? Well, that sounds like a deal. As the system confirms this, Naruto would wake up again in the morning. As Naruto would wake up in a cold sweat, looking around to see that his injuries are completely healed. He's all better. As Naruto would be shocked. How on earth is he alright after that beating he received? As Naruto would shrug and shake it off, basically preparing for another day at school. As he does so, he walks out in his apartment and locks the door, walking to the academy. But on his way, the screen or the system appears yet again in front of him, as Naruto would look at it and would think, huh? Can other people see this? As other people walk by him, they walk straight in front of the screen, but they basically didn't feel it or didn't see it. So Naruto would think that only he can see it. So Naruto would end up reading what the system would say, as the system would tell him that he has a daily task, and that's to go to the academy and basically complete all of his classes, and in the end he will receive stat points for doing so. As Naruto would be confused. Stat points? What are stat points? As he decides to complete what the system has, basically assigned for him, because well, he's gonna go to the academy anyways, so why not do this little quest? And as he does so, Naruto would end up completing his classes, paying attention and listening to his, Iruka and his lectures, and basically not causing too much trouble this time. As Iruka would be shocked, wondering if Naruto was okay, because Naruto usually would cause a ruckus in class and basically be a class clown. But today he decided to pay attention. So I guess Iruka decided to, take out Naruto for some ramen, as Naruto would be quite shocked. Ramen? Why? But anyways, he takes up the offer, thinking, what's the harm? As Naruto is eating and talking to Iruka, he would decide to head home. And as he does walk home, Naruto would end up seeing the system pop up again, but this time not showing a quest, but showing his stat points. Naruto has completed a day of basically his daily quest, so the stat points, he gains around 5 stat points. As Naruto would look at the options that he can get, and the options are strength, stamina, vitality, speed, and intellect. As Naruto would look at all these things and think, well, the main thing I need right now is, well, Naruto decides to put 2 stat points in his intelligence, and basically 2 for his speed, because he's probably going to have to run away a lot, and, well, 1 point that he has left, he decides to save it, thinking that, well, he might just save up stat points to see what he could put these stat points in later on. As Naruto would end up doing this for a whole week, as his quest hasn't really changed, but he did notice one thing. He has a store in his system, a store that he can buy weapons, well, these so-called potions from. He doesn't really know what these are, but he decides that he might save up whatever earnings he gets from these quests so he can buy a weapon, because maybe when he becomes a ninja, he can use this weapon for real. As Naruto would end up basically doing more and more quests, but his quests basically change. When he was about to graduate, or when he's in the year of graduation, Naruto's quests begin to change. His quests are now to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and run 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run. As Naruto would be quite shocked. This is like a full-on training regimen. As Naruto thinks that, well, he is in his graduating year and he might turn out to be a ninja, so this would be good for him. So Naruto ends up doing this, but of course it was hard and very strenuous. But he ends up completing it anyways, as Naruto would realize that he's gained a lot more money and XP from doing this, and he's received a lot more stat points. So Naruto would end up figuring out that, well, he's gonna do this every single day. As he does so, Naruto would gain more and more stat points, and of course, he did put in the stat points he's earned over a few weeks, and maybe a few years that he's been doing this since he's in his graduating year. So Naruto's stat points, when he got the new quest, would look like this. Naruto's strength would be at around 150, his vitality would be around, well, let's say 125, his intellect would be around 130, his stamina would be very high, well, higher than the rest, being around 150, and that's his strength. Have I done his strength? I don't think I have. So his strength would be around 125 as well. So yeah, those are Naruto's stats so far, as Naruto has realized that he has grown a lot. He hasn't seen himself yet, but others have noticed or begun to notice Naruto's major difference. Even though he hasn't done the quest the Sanjin Buu has that changed his whole body and all that, he has gained experience and strength from the other daily quests that he is doing currently, and that has, well, changed his body just a tad bit, even though it's not, well, strenuous work. But this time when he receives his new quest, this will basically change Naruto's whole physique and his body type in general, as now Naruto does this till graduating year and finishes his quest, and now Naruto has improved quite a lot. All of his stats are around 130 to all of his stats are around 210 to 215, and his stamina being at the highest, being at around 230, as Naruto is now completely different. His whole height, physique, and everything completely changed. He has grown from his, shrimpy height to now being around almost 6 feet, basically. He's almost reached 6 feet. His physique, he's jacked, all of that. But that's not all that's changed. Naruto has changed his jutsu arsenal as well. As of course, the system would make him train in jutsu and using weapons like kunai and shuriken and things. And if he doesn't get them right, he gets punished for not doing so. So yeah, Naruto has improved, and people have begun to notice. One person in particular being Sasuke, as Sasuke noticed that Naruto has gotten way better in physical strength, and also has noticed Naruto's progression in jutsu and chakra control, as he's been quite shocked by this. Since Naruto was a dope, Naruto was like the class clown. He never studied, trained, or did none of that. But he was a pure genius, and he's trained a lot himself. But he hasn't realized or gained the gains that Naruto has. So he's quite shocked. But anyways, we move on. As it was final graduation year, and they basically graduated as ninjas, as Naruto would not fail his test, and Mizuki, he had to pick on another guy to collect a scroll. Unfortunately, that kid would end up getting caught, and Mizuki would get put behind bars. As now, Naruto would end up being assigned to Team 7, being him, Sasuke, and Sakura. As Naruto would think that this team is alright, and they probably could work together, as Naruto would end up arriving in class, seeing that his teammates are there, but his sensei isn't. So they decide to wait. And let's say a couple hours go by as they were waiting, as Naruto decides to just try and go to sleep. Seeing as his sensei is going to take a while. But as he tries to doze off, his sensei finally arrives, showing himself to be Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja. As they all look at his sensei, or their sensei, and decide to basically chew him out because he was late. As their sensei comes up with a pretty crappy excuse, saying he was on the path of life, or some crap like that, as they did not buy it, as, Kakashi would end up coughing to break the tension, and decide to take them to the rooftop. And as they make it there, Kakashi would end up telling them that they should introduce themselves, their likes, dislikes, and hobbies, and Naruto was to go first, as Naruto would decide that, he would say basically the same things he does in canon, and this time, he declares that he wants to be Hokage. He does declare that in the original, but this time he also declares that he is going to be the strongest shinobi ever. As, Kakashi would look at him thinking, that's a hefty goal. As then he tells the next person to introduce themselves, the next person being Sakura, and Sakura does her, little introduction about herself, and talking about being someone's wife, and giggling and laughing, but we move. As then Sasuke introduces himself, being all emo, and talking about how he would like to kill a certain someone. As Kakashi would realize that this would not be good for the future, and that they gotta make sure he stays in check. But yeah, we move. So Kakashi would tell them the next day, Kakashi would tell them tell them to meet up the next day, because they will have a test to see if they're going to be able to stay on his team or not. So yeah, they meet up on the next day, and yet again Kakashi is late, just like always, as they wait a couple hours, and Kakashi would end up meeting his team. And when he does so, they all complain even more. But Kakashi would tell them to shut up, and that the test, or he was about to explain the test. As Kakashi would explain the test being the belt test. They all have to get these 2 bells, and whoever doesn't get these bells will be sent back to the academy with no excuses. As they all look at each other, wondering who would get the bells, but Kakashi wouldn't give them time to think and tell them that the test has begun, as all of them would scatter, as Naruto would end up hiding in the bushes, Sasuke in the tree, and Sakura close by. As Kakashi would be quite impressed. They hid their presence really well. He really couldn't sense them. So he decides to put even more disrespect down, and decides to read his Icha Icha novel. As Kakashi would be reading, Sasuke would try to find an opening, analyzing Kakashi, but he really couldn't find an opening. Even though Kakashi was reading a book, he could tell that Kakashi was ready for anything. As well, Naruto would be analyzing Kakashi too, as Naruto would decide that he would send in a shadow clone, as he does know the shadow clone jutsu. The system had forced him to learn it with blood, sweat, and tears this time, not with the scroll. So yeah. So Naruto would end up using a shadow clone, and the shadow clone, well, Kakashi doesn't know that he has this jutsu, so he figures it's the real Naruto, as Naruto would dash in. Well, this clone would dash in towards Kakashi, as Kakashi would be quite surprised. Naruto would be quite fast, as, well, Naruto would throw a right hand, trying to throw a haymaker, as Kakashi would dodge, but he would feel a rush of wind, like whoosh by, as Kakashi would be quite surprised. Naruto has a bit of punching power, as Naruto would try and throw a left uppercut as a surprise attack, but Kakashi would end up blocking it. But even though he blocked it, his hand would, or his guard would get sent flying upwards, as Kakashi would be quite shocked. His book would get flung into the air, as Kakashi would think, "No, my book!" as he does a backflip and somersault to basically catch his book, and basically dash backwards to gain a little more space between him and Naruto, as he'd be quite surprised. Naruto has power in his fists, so he decides to put his book away and decides to deal with Naruto. But of course, we all know that this is a clone, as the real Naruto would be near the river, as he would be near the river, preparing a sneak attack, as Sasuke wouldn't notice that this was a clone either, thinking that this was actually Naruto, as a clone would be trying to use his taijutsu, and Kakashi would be surprised. Naruto's quite adept in taijutsu, as Kakashi would be blocking and trying to attack Naruto as well. He would land a few blows, as you might be thinking, whoa, is the clone going to disappear now? Well, no, because Naruto does have the system. The system provides a boost in his shadow clones because of his high durability and stamina. So yeah, Naruto's clones would end up taking like 5 hits from Kakashi, and they were all pretty powerful hits. And Kakashi would think, well, he's not going down, so he'd end up getting pushed back, not realizing that he's really close to the river, as Naruto would jump out of the river with a real one, and basically put Kakashi in like a chokehold. Kakashi would be quite surprised, as Naruto would wrap his legs around his torso, as his arms would be wrapped around his neck, basically trying to suffocate him, as the clone would try and take the bells, as Kakashi would basically use a substitution jutsu, as Naruto would now be hugging onto a log instead of Kakashi, as he would let go and think, rats, he got out, as Naruto would de-summon his clone and decide to go back into hiding. As Kakashi would be watching this from a tree, thinking that, wow, that kid was using a clone and I was struggling that much? Well, I guess this kid is a lot of surprises, I guess. As Kakashi would end up hunting down the other two, thinking that, well, he will make Naruto look for him. As Kakashi would formulate a plan, trying to take out his 2 teammates to see what Naruto would do in response. As Naruto would be looking around, he would see Sasuke already taken out, as Kakashi would go for him first, and then Sakura. Sakura's screams could be heard from the distance, as Naruto would decide to help Sasuke out of the ground, as Sasuke and Naruto would nod together, thinking that they don't have to work together to even defeat Kakashi, as they would dash through the forest looking for Sakura. As they see Sakura laying on the ground, Sasuke would think that this was a genjutsu and release her from the genjutsu. As well, Kakashi would be standing in a tree and decide to mess around a bit, throwing a few shuriken and kunai at them to see what they'd do, as Sasuke and Naruto would both take out their own kunais respectively and decide to try and block every single one of them. And as they do so, Kakashi would land behind them, trying to take Sakura as hostage. As Kakashi would try to do this though, Naruto would already be close to his face with a kunai, trying to slash at him, as Kakashi would barely dodge, as he would back away, letting Sakura go, as he would basically create space between him and Naruto. He would whip out his Sharingan, revealing a 3-to-1 Sharingan, as Sasuke would go into a frenzy, seeing or thinking that Kakashi has desecrated a grave of the Uchiha, and the villagers let him do so. So Sasuke would basically be in a blind rage, dashing forward and trying to quote-unquote kill Kakashi. As he tried to do so, he would release a fireball jutsu yet again, but Kakashi has already seen him do this before. So he would cancel it out with a mud wall, and basically use a substitution jutsu when Sasuke seemed or would think that he would be getting close. He would substitute behind and basically come from behind and basically attack Sasuke, knocking him out with a single chop to the neck, as Naruto would be the only opponent left. As Naruto would basically dash forward and try to fight Kakashi, as Kakashi, using his Sharingan this time, could see all of Naruto's movements and dodge accordingly. As Kakashi would literally start folding Naruto, but Naruto would try even harder and push past his limits, as Naruto would run and basically attack even faster and faster. As Kakashi still is keeping up thanks to the Sharingan, but he is pretty tired already from facing, or he has gotten a bit worn down from facing them. As Kakashi would basically use a substitution jutsu when Naruto seemed like he cut him, as he would be already behind Naruto, trying to finish him off. But Naruto would anticipate this and basically do a tornado kick straight to Kakashi's face, sending him flying into a tree. As Kakashi would be dazed, as Naruto would try finishing this with his kunai, and trying to pin Kakashi to the tree so he can grab the bells. As Kakashi would try to react fast enough, but he couldn't, as that kick left him a bit dazed or dizzy. He doesn't know, as he felt something sharp hit him before the kick. It might have been the kunai. The kunai might have grazed him or something, but he felt off. He felt quite dizzy, and he couldn't get up. So Naruto would have thrown his kunais at him and would have pinned him to the tree and grabbed the bells. As Kakashi would ask Naruto to let him free, as Naruto would do so, as he would ask, well, you did get the bells, but who are you gonna give the other bell to? Because you know, only 2 people can pass. As Naruto would think about this, as Sasuke and Sakura were beginning to wake up. As they see Naruto with the bells, they think they've passed. But Naruto would decide that he will be the selfless one and decide to throw a bell to Sakura and throw a bell to Sasuke, telling them that they should go on to be great ninjas, and he will go back to the academy and try again next year. As Kakashi would have warned him that he can't be a ninja ever again, or ever try this exam ever again if he fails. So Naruto would think, well, I'll just have to work on something else then. As Kakashi would see the selflessness and him basically sacrificing himself for his team, thinking that Naruto was the better man, he decides to basically let them all pass, thinking that they have potential for teamwork and that they can be great comrades and complement each other's skills. As Naruto would be quite shocked, thinking, wow, we passed. As now they have become full-fledged ninjas. Genin. But I think I'm just going to leave it off here. What did you guys think? And what do you think I should improve for the next part of this What If? And leave a comment down below and make sure to, like and subscribe. But with all that being said, I'll see you all in the next What If scenario.